Right, as we all know, intermittent issues are the worst, and the help with this little fella is gonna solve all my problems.
See, this is the new merch that's coming out, and you better get it today, because it'll almost be sold out. Please support my daddy with new merch. All the links will be down below in this subscription below, so you can get this amazing, fantastic cup that has ever been born in the cup history.
Hello and welcome to another Bodgit and Leggit video. Now, and then he didn't say that properly, I don't think I did, but anyway, we have a 2007 Toyota Corolla 1.4 petrol, and the customer was complaining, and he actually made a little video. It was only 2 seconds long, so I'll quickly put that up. As you can see, all the lights were flashing, and he said he then come to a stop at traffic lights and the car cut out. He said, but before he did that, he said he just put his heater on, which gave me a really good idea of what was going on. And then it car cut out and it wouldn't start. Someone jump started him, and he went away. Now, first things coming into my head were alternator, wiring, or battery. Now, I put this battery on not that long ago, and now again, still could be the battery, but I knew in my head I put a new battery on not that long ago, so I was thinking, okay, it's maybe not the battery, possibly wiring or alternator. So what I quickly did is, because I just thought, you know, it's just going to be a non-charge alternator, there's no point filming it, simple enough. Tested the battery and it was perfect. Battery tested good, but also the voltage going to the battery was testing good, the amps going to the battery, everything was perfect. So then I did a quick ohms test from here to there to make sure the wire is okay. Never do a continuity test, waste of time, because if you have one strand connected in a bunch of 100, it's still going to beep. Ohms is the way to go. So that tested fine, and I'm like, hold on a second, the alternator is charging. Yes, the fan belt is a bit dodgy, as you can see, it's not great, but alternator's charging, battery's good, what's going on? So I started doing a few more checks, couldn't figure it out, thinking, what is going on here? So then I was like, it has to be an alternator. Checking all the connections, checking everything was perfect, put my meter back on, and boom, we was getting like 12.3 volts. I was like, oh, okay, brilliant. Turned it off, doing a few more things, because I was actually servicing this at the same time, and then started it again, and then boom, it was okay. And I'm like, you know, this is not a smart charger. You know, it's just a normal, it's not a smart charging system, it's just normal, because that's what you have to be careful of. Smart charging systems turn on and off the battery when they want to. So anyway, I was like, how am I going to monitor this? Because intermittent issues are the worst. And this bad boy, this wireless dynamic battery tester from Hubby Tools. I remembered I had it, and I remember, hold on a second, we can do live monitoring with this bad boy on our dog and bone on our phone, and this is what's gonna make me know exactly what's wrong, because again, intermittent issues, they're a nightmare. I'll put the link down to where you can get this from Hubby Tools. There's a QR code on the side, scan that, you get a free app to your phone, and then you can start monitoring everything with this. It does, you know, cranking amps, it does battery test, it does alternator test, it does the works. It even will allow you to do all the new modern stuff, you know, with all the smart charging systems and everything. But what I really like about it, which is going to help me, is there's a recording feature on it. So you just put this onto the battery, turn your app on, and automatically it starts recording. You don't need to go near your phone, it just automatically starts recording. But let's say you're having an issue, like the car is stumbling, or lights come on, or something weird happens. All you've got to do is just tap your phone, and it'll leave like a little mark on that particular part of the video. And then if it happens again, just tap. You don't have to look at it, just tap the screen. So if you put your phone, say, on the passenger seat, and just every time there's an issue, just tap your screen anywhere on the screen, and it will leave a little flag mark. And then once you've finished the drive, you can come back and you can see where all the little flag marks are. So let's say, for example, the battery's charging perfect, and all of a sudden, bang, it goes, lights come on the dash, and then you press the flag mark, but that's dropped from, say, 14 volts to 12 volts or 11 volts, whatever it is. You can, oh, okay, so it's an intermittent issue, and then you can go further in your diagnostics. But like I said, I've checked this, and it's only once it's happened to me where it's checked bad, and the other couple of times it's checked good. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this bad boy on, and I'm going to show you just how important it is to have the right tools, especially for intermittent issues. Now, if the alternator was completely dead, yeah, simple, it's completely dead. But I just don't know. I still actually don't know what's going on with this car yet. That's why this is going to help. And with the smart charging systems, you have to be so careful, because you've got sensors on the battery. They can be hundreds and thousands. Your batteries can be hundreds and thousands. Your alternators can be hundreds and thousands. I don't mean and thousands. You know, some of the new batteries can be 2 or 3 grand if they're a lithium battery. The sensors on the battery can be up to 1,000. Anyway, it's just ridiculous, and if you misdiagnose that, you know, you're getting a big bill. So this little bad boy is going to help us. Right, I've put it on, and now what we're going to do is just close the bonnet, obviously, because you don't want to drive with the bonnet open, and we're going to take it for a drive. Where this really comes into its own is, like I said, on the newer smart car systems. Let's say, you know, your battery light's flashing, but the car is reading that the voltage or the battery is fully charged, so it disconnects the alternator, but the battery is draining, but the car thinks the battery isn't. So this is where this bad boy comes in, you know, really to its own, especially on modern stuff, but obviously it'll work on stuff that's prehistoric, like this 2007 Corolla. Now, the only thing that might be a slight issue is I've driven this car because I forgot my battery test. I had to go all the way back home to get it, and yeah, so this has gone through a heat soak already. But as I was driving, there was no battery light coming on. It was driving fine, but it did seem to be struggling a little bit when you know, after about 20 minutes of driving. So hopefully the alternator hasn't completely dead, and I'm going to be able to show you the intermittent issue that I was having when I initially started it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to screen record my phone. Now, there is a record device inside the app, but I don't know if it picks up sound, so I'm going to do a screen record which will pick up me talking and also pick up the app. Right, just an absolute nightmare. Unfortunately, my phone recorded the screen rate completely different to the way I was talking, so I'm going to have to do a voiceover on all this screen recording stuff. But not only that, I'm going to have to try and speed it up because it's going really slowly, as if the screen recorder is in slow motion and the voice is normal. So this might not match up 100%. It's going to be annoying, but I can't obviously go and record it, so hopefully you're going to get the idea. Right, so what I'm about to do in a second, as you can see, I've just started it, but you can clearly see already the voltage is just completely, it's close, but it's not great. It's close enough to keep the car running, but it's just not great. Should be over 14 volts really, or close to 14 volts. But as you can see now, it is dropping. Now, what I do in a few seconds, hopefully, I don't know how it's going to actually come out, but I start turning on some loads and the voltage just completely goes. I turn on headlights, I turn on heaters, and you can just see the voltage is just disappearing. But what's actually happening is, now you can see how slow it is. See me lifting up the screen record button? Look how slow that's going. The frame rate of the recording is just completely wrong. But anyway, you can see now we've dropped, we've nearly dropped under 13 volts. So what's happening is the car for the customer was, if he wasn't using too many things, the car was still running fine. But if he used everything at once, you know, heaters, radios, lights, you name it, charging a phone, whatever the case may be, the voltage goes. But also, you'll see now, look, I think we're under 12 volts now, we are, yeah. But what will happen is sometimes it will jump back to, say, 13.8 volts. Or just under 14 volts, which gives the battery enough time to recover, and you know, the car still starts and drives okay. I can't really continue on with this much longer, unfortunately, but basically, as I was driving down the road, it was going from, say, 13.5 volts, under 12 volts, maybe 12.5 volts, up and down, up and down. So of course we're getting an intermittent charging, and when I was testing it with the multimeter, I was getting about 14 volts. I think it was just over 14 volts. When you look at it, you think, okay, 14 volts is fine. But as you can clearly see from this now, it's just up and down, up and down, up and down. Right, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to now figure out how much more of this I can actually use, and then figure out my screen recording properly for the next time. Right, what I wanted to do is a quick ripple test just to see, and for some reason now the frame rates are just way too fast. But anyway, so as you can see, we've actually done a ripple test on it, and you'll see the at the end it says the idle has failed, because obviously the idle speed was going up and down, up and down, up and down. As you can, or the idle voltage, sorry, was going up and down like crazy. But as you can actually see, the ripple test, the diode was nearly half a volt, which is massive. So that's what was causing all weird stuff going on with the dash as well. So we know we've 100% got an issue with the alternator, because we've got AC ripple issues, we've got charging issues, we've got all sorts. So that's just another good test to do. Right, in under 2 hours, I've got this boss back, and as I was expecting, the voltage regulator gone. So now, boom, new one in. Let's fit this and double check that everything works. Right, new fan belt as well, because if you look at this one, look how bad it was. Come on, focus camera. Focus. There we go. Really, really bad. Bits missing. And yeah, just bad. Cracked and bad. So now what we've got to do is monitor the charging again, just to make sure it's fixed. Or do we have another issue? Or was I wrong with my diagnostics? We will find out in a few minutes. Right, so now we've got it all back together, and I've just started the car, and as you can see instantly, look, we are over 14 volts. Now, just be aware that when you are doing this, your battery's going to be putting a lot of amps into it, because it's kind of flat. Now, I don't know exactly when this is coming across, because obviously I recorded it and I can't hear myself now on the main record, but I'm turning loads on, so you can see the battery is flickering, but it recovers quite quickly. So it did drop just below 14 volts, but as you can see, it recovered quite quickly. And at one stage, I have everything on, full beams, heaters, you name it, I have absolutely everything on here. So bear that in mind just before you actually go any further. What I am quickly showing now is the recording mode, or the monitoring mode on the actual app itself. So you can set it to 5, 10, 20 minutes. And as you're driving down the road, you'll see the little graph that's performing. And what you can actually do is you can just tap the screen anywhere, and like I was saying before, it will leave that little mark on the screen for you. And once it leaves a little mark on the screen, you can then go back to it and see exactly what's going on. As you can see, when you stop it, it will tell you how long you've been monitoring it for, what the peak voltage was and what the lowest voltage was, which is really good. And if you've got really low voltage issues, if you've tapped on the screen at them particular points, you know that's when, you know, an intermittent fault or something is happening. So you can actually check it out from there, which is actually really good. But as you can see from the rest of the video, again, I can't show you because it's just the timing's completely off. But the voltage is absolutely perfect. So I'm turning all loads, I'm driving it down the road. The voltage is flickering, but it's flickering and it's staying above 14 volts. If it drops below, it's just for a second, and then it regains, it catches itself back up and goes to 14 volts. So yeah, just be careful, because I did do a Mondeo. I don't know which video is going up first, but I did do a Mondeo with very similar problems. And what it was actually doing was, it was an earth issue in that particular case, but it was kind of giving us the same problems. Now, we wasn't getting AC ripple problems, but we were getting these weird, you know, not charging and weird lights coming on the dash, and, you know, things not working as it should. So make sure you check everything. You know, do your checks properly before you replace anything, especially on modern cars, because it's very expensive. So just do simple voltage drop tests, do simple ohms tests, you know, very, very easy, very, very quickly. So yeah, hope you get it. Right, so it's still running. All the loads are on. The old Hobby Tools wireless dynamic battery tester. I'll leave all the links down below. And yeah, absolutely brilliant. Intermittent issue, you know, intermittent issues are a nightmare, but with this I found the problem. Like I said, just be careful, make sure you test everything first, because you can have the same symptoms with a dodgy What we actually did is, because we tested it coming out the back of the alternator, we kind of knew, but you know, just test everything properly. So as always, hope it helps. Please like, share, comment and subscribe. Don't forget, links up here, links down below, but most importantly, don't forget, get your hands dirty. See you for the next one. Sorted.